up, guys, and welcome back to Earth Zero. I'm your host, Black Nick, and thank you so much for tuning in today. So, we're going to be talking about this year's gaming year and how games have been treated and how games have been treating their gamers. And we're specifically going to be talking about Cyberpunk, but we'll get to that. We have to build up to that game because we're going to be talking about basically this whole year. So before we get to that, please hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and welcome to the Zero family. Thank you so much for your support. So Cyberpunk 2077 has been the year's most anticipated game, let me say, and people have been having issues and stuff. But before we get to that, let's talk about where everything began, where everything started becoming so jiffy this year in terms of the most anticipated games. The most anticipated games have all had complaints, issues, problems, people complaining about it. And then small games like Fall Guys, Among Us have done so well. Games that haven't been made in process for so many years, but the most anticipated games have been having the most issues and complaints this year, and it's really scary and sad at the same time. So we had Last of Us 2 that began it all, where the whole fan base got divided because some people didn't like it, some people saw leaks, what that whole story happened. Then from there, because of the hate and the whole audience review towards Last of Us 2, people tried to attack Ghost of Tsushima, but landed up not working. The game was very successful. That's one game that I didn't actually come across any bugs. Only in my second playthrough the game, my new game plus, have I come across some bugs. But at first I didn't come through any bugs. That's my game of the year, literally. I love that game. So well done to that game. But people still did have problems with it, so I'm not going to dismiss it. But people turned those into memes, and at the end of the day, it actually wasn't that bad because it was just a bug here and there. So Ghost of Tsushima, in terms of everything, wasn't that bad. Then you get the king of them all, Marvel's Avengers. This game was really in between. People were on the edge about it from the beginning. And when it came out, it was just so broken and people were hating on it. There were so many bugs. There was no content. People were just destroying the game. So it was really sad for that game. Then we had Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which in my opinion is not such a great game. Honestly, everyone that's enjoying it is just an AC fanboy in my eyes, because honestly, I don't know how people deal with a game that looks like that. They've been making Assassin's Creed games for so many years, and I don't see any improvements in AC Valhalla. Odyssey was the best, I think, for me. That game did really well. Origins wasn't too bad. There were bad ones in between, but from Odyssey to AC Valhalla, that was not a jump at all for me. The characters look so unfinished. The cutscenes look horrible when they spoke to each other. It felt so rehearsed. It just didn't feel complete to me. There was just issues in the game. There was glitches that I came to across every single day. This is my personal experience, guys. And I never heard anyone complaining about these things. And just the loot and everything that you had to do in the game was just a waste of time for me, at the end of the day. And I was a fan of Assassin's Creed in the first Ezio saga, the Altair and Ezio saga. I loved the Assassin's Creed game. Then it became RPG, and I'm like, oh, they're getting better, and they started getting cool. But then now, I don't know, I've just played so many other games that are better, that have given me higher standards, and I'm going to mention it, and that is Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima was busy being compared to the Assassin's Creed games, and people were like, oh, Ghost of Tsushima is AC Japan, and I'm like, no ways. I do not want Ubisoft touching anything Japan or whatever anytime soon, because they are not going to be able to defeat Ghost of Tsushima. Because if Assassin's Creed Japan was in the state that AC Valhalla was in, I wasn't going to enjoy the game. Honestly, I don't want to go around looking for loot and traveling for weeks on my feet and trying to find things that are just not worth it at the end of the day. And then they expect you to think that, that's worth your money. Hell no. Anyway, let me stop ranting about AC Valhalla. And let's go straight to the one and only Cyberpunk 2077. The game that was supposed to save everyone this year and was supposed to end off the year all happily. And people have been actually complaining about the game. The game has had so much bugs, and apparently it's mostly on the console, like the old gen console, like your Xbox and your PS4. The first release of the consoles are like not performing the game too well, apparently. Too many bugs and stuff. But there are also problems on PC and the PS5. There are actual bugs. But my question is that this game was in development before any of that stuff even existed or was even thought for. So obviously when they were running and testing a few of these things before the PS5 was out, it should have been tested on these kind of consoles. So I don't understand why it's having issues on that console. And they're saying no, it only runs better on the new consoles, but you started it when that console wasn't even an idea yet. So it just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, that is not my point. My point is that you paying full price for a game to play it on the first day, and you get the broken, worst version of the game. Meanwhile, someone down the line is gonna get the game at half price, just like what happened with Marvel's Avengers, and they're gonna get more content. They're gonna get things that are already fixed and complained by us that paid the full price. And I think that's what really ticks people off at the end of the day. It's the fact that I'm buying the game at full price now, and I'm only gonna get the better version later on, when I could have bought it then at a cheaper price and would have saved a lot. So everyone's like, oh, but that's your problem for like trying to buy the game or whatever, the new game right now. And I'm like, dude, if I want to play a new game, I want to play a new game. And the fact that the game costs so much on the first day already should mean that the game should be ready at launch. It should be fixed. It's ready. If you're launching it, it's ready. There shouldn't be any excuses. Yes, you can have a few bugs and problems there, but if you're having bug problems like Cyberpunk, where at the end of the game the end mission is just so bugged that like it ruins and you can't even finish the end mission, that's an issue and that's a problem. So for the people that are experiencing that, I feel really bad for you guys, and I'm so sorry, and that's why I'm making this video on your behalf. For the people that haven't come across anything and are enjoying Cyberpunk 2077 and it has lived up to the hype that you wanted it to be, I'm happy for you, because that's exactly what I want for the game. So at the end of the day, it's not a trash game. It's just the fact that people are experiencing different things that are annoying, and there are a lot of videos about bugs, so you can't just dismiss it and be like, oh, these people are being angry for no reason. But there is a reason. Like, there's bugs, and no one wants to play a buggy game. It's like me going to the cinema and watching a film in the cinema, and then like half of the audio in the middle just disappears, and it's actually like it's that version of the actual film. Like, it has nothing to do with the cinema it's playing in. It's actually the director that made that mistake. Would you be happy? It's just like no audio in like the middle of the film at like the best part where you need to hear the like famous words, and it just cuts out the audio. Would you be happy? So things like that just ruins the whole movie. Like, you'd actually be pissed about it, and you paid for it. And that's what people now that are experiencing all these big bugs and glitches are doing. So it's natural, it's human to not want that game. So I honestly think the game is great. I've been enjoying it so far. I have come across like one or two glitches, but they're not major yet. So I'm happy with it, and I'm hoping I'm going to enjoy the game. But I feel like the hype and the overhype for the game really made people expect a lot, and that's why it's getting destroyed right now. And since the Marvel's Avengers had the same problems with bugs and stuff and got destroyed for that, it's only fair that Cyberpunk has the same kind of treatment at the end of the day. People always complain about something, so yeah, at the end of the day, that's what it is. So you guys must just let me know what you think about this year's gaming process. Or the games have the games done it for you? All the games that you wanted to get, did you enjoy all of them? Were some a letdown? What do you guys think? And specifically talk about Cyberpunk 2077, because this game was supposed to be the god of games this year. People were like, Cyberpunk was going to be the game of the year if it didn't come out late. But if it did come out before the Game Awards and was going to actually be nominated for the Game Awards, but it was in this state, I don't think it would have been Game of the Year actually, because obviously we had something else, or the judges had something else in mind, which we'll talk about in our next video. But thank you so much for watching, and please stay tuned for my next video. Please hit that like and subscribe button and comment in the section below, and I'll see you guys soon.